Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we got for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which is set to release on both the Nintendo Switch and on PC on June 30th. And in this video, I want to try to focus a little bit more on the following collaboration quests. This is a brand new feature that Capcom is introducing for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, where you are basically going to be able to go out on a hunt with a variety of characters in a single player format. They're basically stating that follower collaboration quests are single player only quests where you go on a hunt with various characters that have appeared into the story in Monster Hunter Rise and will also be introduced in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Now, the reaction to this has been a little bit mixed, only because I think some people are seeing it as a good thing if it's a direct replacement to the Rampage, which is something that Capcom has not talked about at all when it comes to Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. So we don't even know if we're even going to get brand new Rampage event quests or anything along those lines added into Monster Hunter Rise at all. But they are talking about the introduction of these brand new follower collaboration quests as being something more than meets the eye. So specifically, like I mentioned before, these are single player experiences only. This is not something you are even going to be able to do online with anyone. And we don't even know if they're going to be able for you to something to do in a collaboration co-op, solo environment, like offline. We don't even know if that's going to be an option. So presumably this is going to be one of those things that for master rank players who are playing Sunbreak, you're going to have the option to, hey, you're having a little bit of a tough time, you can't really deal with the difficulty spike of this specific quest, hey, why don't you get a follower in here and basically help you out in this specific quest. Now, we know that's not going to be the case for every single one of them. Presumably some of the quests are going to be flagged for you to be able to go ahead and bring one of them, and we get that in the form of some of the information that was provided in the website, which they recently updated as well. And there's 3 key points that they like to point out. First and foremost, they mentioned that these colorful characters will join you as followers, allowing for a completely new hunting experience. They also mentioned that followers will help you out in a variety of ways, such as by using health recovery items and placing traps, and sometimes even riding monsters. You're able to earn exclusive rewards in these quests, so make sure to give them a try as you make your way through the story. There's a couple of key things there. Of course, the first is that they talk about, of course, they're going to be able to heal you. This is something that we spoke about in the most recent video that I showcased when I was talking about Malzeno. We do see Fiorane kind of using healing ability in one of the clips there. We also now know that you're going to be able to have them place traps, and of course we also see Fiorane in that Malzeno gameplay clip riding Aluna Garen versus Malzeno as well. So all of those are going to be optional, and you're also going to have, of course, your Palico and Palamute buddies as well there with you. So when it comes to that whole thing of like a monster specifically focusing on you and targeting you non-stop, that's not going to be the case anymore, because we also know that these follower assist characters are also going to have either a Palico or a Palamute alongside with them as well. So not only are now you're going to have an assistant character there with you, they're also going to have their buddy helping out along as well, which presumably can also do buffs, heals, traps, or anything along those lines as well. So that's always beneficial. The last little bit of information that they put up on the website is that the cast of characters that can join you as followers will increase bit by bit as you play through the story. They all have their own weapons and attacks that they're proficient at, so try to find which ones synergize best with your playstyle. Hinoa and Minoto can join you now too, as well as several other characters from Komura Village. And they put up this pretty interesting image right there for like renders and stuff for all the characters that we know so far are going to be part of this feature. So we know that Arlo, Master Arlo or whatever, is going to have the gun lance weapon. Gallius is going to have the great sword. Sir J is going to have the charged blade. Dame Luchica is going to have the heavy bowgun. I presume that's a heavy bowgun. And Fiorane is going to have the sword and shield. These are all the Sunbreak characters they've confirmed so far. They also showcase that Minoto is going to have a lance and Hinoa is going to have a bow. So there's, I believe, 2, 4, 6, 7 more weapons that we don't necessarily have characters for. That would be light bowgun, insect glaive, switch axe, hunting horn, hammer, dual blades, and longsword. So that's 6 weapons that we don't necessarily have characters for. That is me assuming that every single weapon is going to have a character representing said weapon. Of course, when it comes to dual blades, we know that Fugen has dual blades right alongside him, but he also does have that massive longsword that he uses in the Rampage, so that could go either way. He could either be the dual blades character, or he could be the longsword character as well. We also know that Master Utsushi wields a longsword as well. We have a render of him doing that as well. And we also have Manju. This would be the character that's voiced back in Fugen's niece, like Cool Girl or whatever it was called in the West. Manju will presumably also be one of those characters that can wield a longsword as well. So if they have to choose a longsword character, they have plenty of options. When it comes to dual blades, presumably Fugen could be the chosen one. I don't necessarily know of any other characters that have dual blades. I was thinking of Hunting Horn when it comes to Paz. This is another one of those voice pack characters that has been already introduced. She has the Hunting Horn, and no one else does in this game from the information that we have seen so far as well. And when it comes to the other weapons, light bowgun, insect glaive, switch axe, and hammer, I can't really think of a single person in the cast of characters that they've shown so far that wields any of those weapons. I can certainly see Hojo wielding a hammer. I mean, he's pretty big, so he could handle the hammer. When it comes to switch axes, I can't really come up with one. Insect glaives, we haven't necessarily seen any character that can deal with that. And when it comes to light bowgun, we haven't necessarily seen that as well. I know that Yomogi deals, I believe, a heavy bowgun, so I don't know if they would switch it to a light bowgun in that regard. And I don't remember what weapon the little kid with the pets uses. I forget his name as well, so I don't necessarily remember what weapon he would use if they want to introduce him as an assist character. But in that regard, I'm really trying to drawing blanks when it comes to light bowgun, insect glaive, switch axe, and hammer as to what characters they could introduce as a follower collaboration event quest that they could go ahead and introduce and give us more of those characters. Now, of course, we know that some of the characters from Kumura Village will be appearing, but that doesn't necessarily rule out more characters being introduced when it comes to Sunbreak. We did see recently the Doctor being introduced, although Wyverians don't necessarily always fight. We do see Minoto and Hinoa fighting. They are Wyverians, but they usually do not fight. We don't necessarily know if they're going to add any more, or we're going to see any other characters that are necessarily part of the story. We haven't necessarily seen the scientist also like do much when it comes to like maybe weapon introduction or anything along those lines. Maybe they could choose to go that route. Again, it's interesting to see like Bahari not appearing. Chiche, Minale could certainly be an interesting character. This will be the smithy. The merchant wouldn't necessarily appear. And like I said, Dr. Todori would be an interesting one, but I'm not necessarily sure they would actually go that route. But yeah, when it comes to the introduction of these follower collaboration quests, I do think it's interesting that they're going the route of just giving players more quests to do single player regarding just by playing by yourself, and they're not even mentioning the Rampage. I think this is a direct trade-off that they're choosing to do, just give you more of the same instead of giving you more of something that kind of didn't necessarily work, since people didn't necessarily gravitate to the Rampage event quests. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.